about something real quick. And then we have a great training, and then we'll have an awesome lineup for you. Go through the announcements and the gala and all that stuff. But I just want to talk just a little bit about some of the things, kind of at the turn of the year. So, if you know me, I love the turn of the year. I know you're not supposed to, in success, you shouldn't really believe in New Year's resolutions. You should believe in resolutions, just in general, right? You shouldn't wait till New Year's to change over, okay? But I do. I feel like something about the holidays and the turn of the year and the football playoffs and all this stuff and Thanksgiving a couple weeks ago, I feel like it's just a magical time to change your life. People, when the date changes from 24 to 25, it's like, you know what, this year is going to be different. Okay. Now, this year will be different if you're different. Okay? So if you do the same things, it's just going to be January, February, March, and that's fine, right? You live with your decisions, good or bad. Okay? Could be good, could be bad. You make the choices, you live with them. You change your choices, you change your routine, you change your environment, you'll change the outcome. And every single year, I, like many of you, especially if you're in this business for a long period of time, you do the exercises, right? You go through your goals. You make your adjustments. You go through your budget. You look under the hood. If you have a partner, or a family, or an inner circle, or a team, you get with your team. What do I got to do? And you're hungry. You're determined. And for me, in just the years of doing this, Manny, right? And I don't say that, I don't ever want to come across Ali as this, wise old person. Okay? So I don't want to ever sound preachy. But, I'm a very simple person. And for me, what I've realized, I guess let me start with this too. One, I don't think in 20 years of doing the business I've ever hit my goals. I've progressed almost every year, but I don't think I've ever hit them. So don't wear that guilt or shame. Okay? I've never been a perfect goal setter. And every single year I come up short. Not to the point, Karen, where it's going to paralyze me or I'm going to feel bad, but I just, I have goals, I set them. I wouldn't say I set them astronomically large, but I've just never hit them. But what I've realized in just doing this a lot, many of us just need to remove stuff from our life. That's all you need to do. Okay? So I know you got the, you signed up for the course, and you're going to be an influencer this year. You paid the thousands of dollars, and you got the whole tutorial package. And that's great, good for you. Okay? But for many of us, just remove shit from your life, man. Just get it out. That's what I realized, man. Declutter, minimalist. And so I'm going to go through a couple things real quick, and I'm victim of all these things. Okay, so so all the most significant improvements in my life have come from removing something, not adding. That's just me personally. This is what I've realized. Sometimes the best thing you can do in your life is eliminating stuff that does not add value or does not belong. Removing things is the ultimate strategy. Okay, and this is a thing too. This is a big thing that I got hung up on. Many people feel they need to replace something. You don't need to replace. Just get it out first. I have to have a viable alternative. No, you don't. Yes, ideally, it's better to replace bad things with good things. A negative friend with a positive friend. A bad habit with a good habit. But many of us, and if you're like me, which most of you are, you're great at lying to yourself. You're perfect at it. It's a procrastination tool. Because I don't have the perfect replacement, I'm going to still stay with what's gotten me stuck. Okay, obviously toxic people. Okay, and look. What do I mean by that? Obviously, I think there's levels of toxicity. Okay? Some people, you have a relationship with them and it's built around negative things. Complaining, substances. You know, I hung out with kids in high school and college that we all, just stupidity all across the board. Right? Like, I was uncomfortable around, like, a responsible person. This is me. Whether it's grades, time management, how we treated other people, what we talked about, that was the basis of, and then when I decided to change my life, and I'm not saying on a noble way, I just didn't feel great about myself. I realized the things, the bonds that were keeping me and my friends, it was gone. It wasn't that, I was too good for them, or I was, but, it wasn't that I was too good for them. It was just like the nature of the relationship just didn't evolve. Okay? Then you have people that don't uplift you. You're always arguing. They're always criticizing you. And that's fine if you have time for that. I don't have time for that. It's not that I'm super busy, but it just puts me in a bad place. I don't like it dealing with people that are going to always, they're negative, they're pessimistic. Always finding ways things won't work. Always judging you. I just don't, for me, you need to take an inventory. Right now, you don't, and I want you to write this down, right? You don't have to be loud about this. You don't send a text right now, I'm cutting you out of your life. You're toxic. I didn't say that. Yeah, exactly. We're posting on social media. Don't do that. It's inappropriate. I'm just saying, right? Right? So you're I used to do this training, right, a long time ago. I said, this business, right, it's like you're carrying a very awkward object. And for the most part, you're by yourself. So think of like a rock, something that's very hard to hold, and you got to carry it 100 yards. Okay? So it's doable, but it's difficult. Okay? So ideally, I want Peter to help me. Okay? Carry it with me. Okay? Now, if you're not going to carry it with me, that's okay. Maybe encourage me. You can do it, man. I believe in you. You'll be great. Wow, that's awesome. Good for you. I'm happy for you. But don't. Then the third thing is, don't talk like, hey, you should just give up. You should quit. It's too far. It's too hard. Look at you. You're going to throw your back out, this, that. And definitely don't jump on the rock. You get what I'm saying? So there's different levels. Negative self-talk, right? Look. This is a thing, guys. There are hundreds of books. Hundreds. Not one or two. What to say when you talk to yourself, how you talk to yourself, how to have positive self-talk, how to be your biggest raving fan. I mean, there are hundreds of books. You know, when I was growing up, right, I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. His, you know, when you're around my age, everybody, that was the guy, right? Jordan was the guy. He was the, you know, superhero. He was the greatest of all time, 6 rings, all that stuff, right? It was enlightening. He had a positive thinking coach. You know, he'd listen to, you know, his headphones, and there was a whole thing about it that he was not listening to music. He recorded announcers announcing him making game-winning shots. So he made those shots, John, in his mind thousands of times. Because he studied and did research on the subconscious mind. Because your mind is more powerful than the most powerful computer. And you can program it. And I know, I don't talk about a lot of this because it can get weird. But it's true. Okay? And so if you're always talking about why you, yourself, not your friends, you, yourself, oh, it won't work, I'm broke, I'm just not like that, that's not the way I am, I'm always late. These are things, right? And so you can learn, you can affirm. And so sometimes you just have to remove what you're saying. Bad habits. We'll talk about some of these social habits. Okay? What do I mean by that? Health habits. Now listen, okay? I have to be very careful here. Because for us, some of your social and health habits will start after our gala. Okay? So New Year starts when the party ends. You know what I'm saying? Some of you should not be using substances, but you can use them on the gala. That's what I'm trying to say. Or just go for the food. You know, like for health habits, I'll give you an easy one for me. Okay? This is just me. I am a different person, like a different human being when I'm tired. Okay? When I'm fatigued and I'm not well rested, I'm not me. Like I'm a poor decision maker, I'm extremely irritable. And when I say poor decision making, you know, they're in Atomic Habits, it says what? Your habits are put to the test when under stress. Okay? So when you're under stress, that's when your habits are put to the test. I fail 1,000%. So, like for me, going to bed early is like a life hack for me. Like if I ridiculously, stupidly stay up late, I'm effed. Like I'm screwed, man. So when I talk about health habits, sometimes it's not that serious. It's just like, just go to bed early. Just go to bed early. Put your phone away, turn off the TV, get a book. It'll put you right to sleep. Everybody knows that. It's the best sleeping pill in the world. Just get a book. You just get tired, you fall asleep. And by reading at night, you program your mind. Great, but like make a goal just to like not stay up and do stupid stuff and feel guilty and then be fatigued the rest of the day. And then you just create a spiral. Like have a bedtime. All right, it happens with children, it happens with you too. Obviously health habits. Some of you guys eat terribly. Some of you, and I'm saying me too, okay? So I'm not, when I say that you guys, I'm not, no judgment at all. Right, obviously the most common one, stop smoking, stop using substances, start eating right, drink water, remove soda. I don't care what goals you write down on paper. If you still do the same things, it's going to be a repeat. But you cut some stuff out, man, you got a shot. Time management habits. I was and still can be the world's greatest procrastinator. I can find any reason to put something off. And in my mind, I actually think it'll be better. There is no reason for me to do this right now. And I'll come up with 20 reasons on why it's better to do it later, every single one of them wrong, everything a lie. Stress-related habits. You know, it's funny, just being in the office a little bit more and seeing people more. You can always tell when someone's having a bad day. They take it out on everybody. They don't do it to me, but I can see how they just deal with other people on the phone, how they interact with people, how they interact with their teammates. Sometimes they do it to me, and I don't mind. I know it just happens, but you can see when people are, and then they just feel really bad because they're argumentative, or they're short, or they're short-tempered. I would take the next couple days, okay, maybe today, find some stuff on YouTube, find some podcasts, just find out and how to remove like 5 or 6 things. Okay? Now many of you know what those things are, which is awesome. Is this it? Oh. Substances. And here's why I'm saying this. Okay? I'm not, this is not trying to be funny, right? Like some people can control their desire. Some people cannot. Yeah. That's what is called addiction. Okay? When you cannot control a desire, and I wasn't talking about the normal substances, okay, that we know of. I'm talking about like sometimes, right, if you're on medication. That's why I said, see, but sometimes, right, like I know someone in my life that I love and I care about, a family member. And she was clinically depressed. And she was on medication. And so she was telling me, and like it was like kind of like now at the turn of the year, and she said, forgive me in advance. She goes, I know and I needed this medication, but I'm gonna get off of it. I said, okay, cool. She goes, but like it's gonna be a withdrawal. She's like, but it was, and I said, okay, so I'm just curious, because I was just curious. I said, why are you getting off it now? She goes, well, it's never supposed to be a long-term plan. And she goes, and just for me, she goes, kind of evaluating everything in my life. She's like, I'm just not feeling things the way I want to feel them. I said, oh, okay, cool. I said, hey man, whatever I can do to support you, and I would check in with her all the time, right? And she got off this medication, and like she's a totally different person. Now, like I said, I'm not saying this just because I'm anti-medicine or anything like that. I'm just saying, right? Some of you may want to change up some of the stuff that you're taking or not taking, right? And we look fast forward a few years later. And she made that decision, and it wasn't like the doctors were telling her, you need this. No, it was a discussion. She wanted to make the decision, and now, wow, right? I don't think any of us here are medically qualified to talk a lot about this, but, sometimes you need to just remove some of the stuff that you're taking, and you'll feel better, right? So, like I said, a life hack is eliminating stuff. You don't have to eliminate every single thing, but think of a couple things that you could remove. See how long you can go, right? One thing I learned from Sushil, I don't know where he got it from. Ironically, maybe social media. But he does this thing with his phone. What's it called?
The grayscale.
Grayscale. Anybody know what this is?
Alex talks about it.
Okay. So you make your phone black and white. Okay. So it's the craziest thing in the world. So when you make your phone black and white, it doesn't give you this dopamine rush, and it's like the phone is not alive. It's true. Like when you look at it, you almost want to throw it away. Check his phone out. But you can do it on your phone. But the science behind it, the numbers and the math behind it is like, and I think it's more than this. But screen time goes down 30%. Because, you know, these companies, they know the 4K, the colors, the images, the vividry of it. It just blues, right? You're just on your phone. And so when I turn my, and like you can see it with my kids, they'll grab my phone and go, like this, because it's black and white. What is this? What did you do? Right? So there's a feature on your phone where you can make it grayscale and you'll just use the phone less. And I'm not saying you shouldn't use your phone, but you shouldn't be doom scrolling 30, 40 minutes because you feel terrible afterwards. So it's going to be a great year.
Yeah.
It's our last training for 2025.
Yeah.
So we have Monday. We'll be here Monday. I'm excited. It's going to be our best year because you're going to be your best. And regardless, Bruce taught me this a long time ago. He said, regardless of the company and how great the company is, it'll pay you more, you can do more, you still got to be the best you can be. Doesn't matter if it's 2025, 1995, 2005, 2012, 2045, you still got to be the best you can be. It'll pay you more. You can probably have success quicker, more rapidly, bigger. But you got to be the best you can be. Give it up for Tia.